This is going to be fun. So a little backstory. I bought this 61 F100 recently and decided that I was going to just simply restore the thing and get it going. And the more research I did on the F100, I had been seeing a lot of videos and things posted online about people doing the frame swap onto a Crown Vic. And with it you gain power steering, power brakes, power disc brakes, rack and pinion steering, the EFI, better gas mileage, and all these things that appealed to me about doing it, going with that direction. So I kind of planned on it, thought about it, weighed the options, decided that I was kind of terrified by the wiring, and kind of decided maybe not. But I did want to use the truck as a daily driver. Be able to tow, light tow, that kind of thing. But all the Crown Vics I was finding were, pretty expensive. It's just not in the cards. And then I came across this 2008 for a ridiculous price and just decided I'm going to go for it. So you'd see in the previous videos that I was kind of going the direction of just restoring a thing, putting a 351 Windsor in it, and driving it like that. But then when this Crown Vic came up, kind of changed plans, because I in the back of my mind, I kind of always wanted to do it that way, but didn't think price-wise it really made sense when I already had a running engine and everything here. But that ended up working itself out. So yeah, we're gonna go for the frame swap, and this is the first episode, so enjoy. This body on this frame with all these parts put back on, of course. The pride of Omaha Police Department right there. It's an 08 Crown Vic. Been stripping down the Crown Vic, labeling every little thing. All the connectors and wires and things. Getting it down just to its run wires. This is kind of fun. It's kind of therapeutic to be ripping apart a car like this. Alright, so we're getting there. I'm cutting the top off. Getting ready to take that off. Got most of the interior removed. Everything labeled. And apologize for the sound of my ballast resistors and my overhead lights there. I want to change the LED, but man, the initial cost to do that. Anyways, off topic. These Crown Vics, man, they're like tanks. Very well built car. I will give that to Ford. I still haven't decided if I'm going to remove the firewall and make some kind of firewall, some kind of hybrid firewall that goes into the truck, or if I'm just going to leave this firewall and set the truck on top of it. Of course, I'm not going to use the dash from the Crown Vic. Try to figure out some way to maybe use this firewall, cut this firewall out, and then retain this dash. Car sounds good. I cut the pipes after the catalytic converters, so it sounds nice. Also, what's cool about pulling one of these things apart is the things you find under the rubber mat in the interior and in the trunk there. I kept finding these little white tubes, and I found probably about 30 or 35 of them, and I could not figure out what the heck these things are. And so after a Google search, they're breathalyzer tubes. Tons of them, just tons of them in this car. Also in the trunk, I found a live round. Something that looks like it could have been from World War II, even though this thing's only an 08, so it must have been sitting in some water. This was in the trunk under the rubber mat. So, yeah, pretty neat. All right, so this is where I'm at. Basically a big old go-kart with a V8. Labeled all the connectors and things, and sure I'll have many more under the dash there, but still runs and drives and shifts and everything just fine. And pretty much the bulk of the body there. Scrap man's coming to get that tomorrow. I'm working on the wiring now, basically trying to get the truck ignition switch to talk to the Crown Vic, and having a few little issues there. I turn it to accessory and the fuel pump primes and everything clicks over, and the starter starts just fine, the car just won't fire over. So I'm sure it's some little signal switch or something simple. But for now, this is where we're at. And once I get that going, once I get that figured out, I can start thinning all these wires and stuff and making sure that the car will still fire off once I start cutting things out slowly as I go, and then going over piles and piles of electrical schematics. But that's where it is now. All right, what I've been trying to figure out is how to get the original truck ignition to work with the Crown Vic ignition. And I went through with the test light and checked everything, and also pulled the schematic or the pinout for the ignition system. And it's all labeled, and the layout of the truck ignition. And just use a bunch of jumper wires here to hook up to the original truck ignition, and it works. Pretty cool. If you're curious how to make your Crown Vic run on the old F100 style ignition, specifically an 08 Crown Vic, I don't know when they changed the wire colors, but this is the layout and these are the colors of the wires that you hook to those posts. I got the main interior harness out, and what I'm going to do from here is basically just start stripping down things not needed. Radio, just stuff like that. There's like some passenger door stuff and driver door stuff in here, and things that won't be needed anymore, and make it a leaner harness. And how I'll be doing that is basically just finding the things that aren't needed, find the wires and trace them all the way back to the main connector and cut them off here. Alright, that's going to do it for this episode, the first episode of the Crown Vic F100 frame swap video. I got a lot of wiring to do. That'll probably just end up resulting in me getting frustrated and buying the Ron Francis harness kit, which sounds like a great idea right now, but I'm going to give it a shot, see if we can save myself some money there. So anyways, see you next time.